So hello to everyone, including all of the new subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough for the support so far. All the likes and new subscribers seem to be pushing these videos higher with the algorithms, and I just seem to be getting more and more views every single day. So again, thank you so much for all the support. I really want to grow this channel, and every subscriber and every view really helps out. So as a thank you, I'm going to post a short but very important video. So sit back and enjoy. Apparently you've become an offensive juggernaut and a defensive demon after watching my I-form close and my 4-3 even 6-1 videos. But there's something else every single Madden player needs that doesn't get a lot of attention. In this year's game, it's very difficult to get stops on defense, period. Even when you're playing near perfect defense, sometimes it just doesn't seem to matter, and your opponent, for whatever reason, luck, skill, whatever, just seems to drive down to the red zone and to the goal line. And one of the things that sets elite players apart isn't just playing great defense between the 20s, but it's having killer defense at the goal line. Like I said in my last video, one sack, one fumble, one interception can completely make the difference and totally alter the final score of a game. Because of that, it's extremely important to have a stonewall at the goal line and play killer goal line defense. One major stop, forcing your opponent to take a field goal instead of a touchdown, or getting an interception in the end zone can take a player from a 500 or even worse record to one that's much more respectable. If you play 20 games, my guess is a single goal line stand could have turned a loss into a win in at least 4 or 5 of those games. And goal line defense this year is tough, you guys. So you need to make your goal line defense as stout as possible. And if you do, I promise you, you're going to win more games. So that's what we're going to do here today. For the purposes of this video, every tip can be used out of pretty much any defensive formation out there. But today, I'm going to suggest that you use the 4-3 even 6-1 as your main goal line go-to. If you're playing MUT and you don't have any lurk artists, you can easily take these adjustments and use them in the dime. But I think the 4-3-6-1 with the linebackers in just gives you that extra little oomph in terms of stopping the run. In fact, I think the 4-3-6-1 is the best run-stopping formation at the goal line, period. And frankly, it may be one of, if not the best passing defenses at the goal line too. So let's get to it, and by the time we're done with this video, you're going to be ready to stuff the run, destroy RPOs, and snag interceptions after interception at the goal line. All right, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to come out in the 4-3 even 6-1 for our goal line play. There are some concepts I want you guys to understand. You can basically use any formation at the goal line, and the concepts we're going to talk about in this video are going to apply to any formation you use. If somebody comes out in a goal line formation, you may want to match that with your goal line. The principles are still going to be the same. I personally feel like the 4-3-6-1 is the best goal line defense that's in Madden, period. All the concepts that we talk about in this video, you can apply to any formation. You can come out in the dime if you prefer speed instead of linebackers. You can definitely come out in the dime and do the same thing. I've come out in dollar before. I've even come out in quarter defense before. So again, everything we talk about in this video can be applied to any defensive formation that you choose. Again, my personal opinion is that the 4-3 even 6-1 is the best goal line defense, okay? So we're going to check our adjustments first, and we're going to press in the right stick. You can leave auto flip on or off, that's up to you, okay? When I'm running the 4-3-6-1, I always turn it to off. Auto alignment to base, option defense to conservative, and we're going to leave all of our zone drops to default. And we're going to go ahead and come out in the 4-3 even 6-1, and we're going to come out in the Sam Will Blitz, okay? And then we're just going to take a random play out of I-form here, okay? So this defense right here, just stock, is a good defense, okay? So if you just want to run all man, that's what you prefer, I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. So we're going to highlight Gronk here. If we can get him highlighted, good golly, okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to pinch our line, which is left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, and then we're going to go left on the D-pad again, and we're going to crash our line, which is down on the right stick. We want to make sure we have the right play art, So we're going to have to do this again. Left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. Now we have the right play art, okay? Now we're just going to hover here, and let's see what happens. Pretty good defense. That's a good defensive setup, okay? So, again, everything on the goal line is, you're basically, I believe that it's 50-50, okay? Everything in life that we do, there's some risk and there's some reward, okay? So, in this case, the risk is 50-50, but the payoffs are huge. We have nothing to lose because we're defending the goal line, but we can completely change the game if we can make a play. So we are going to up our chances as much as possible. If it's 50-50, what if we're able to get that up to 55-45 or 60-40 or even 65-35? That's a big deal. One sack, one fumble, one interception, one pick six can completely change the course of a game. So a pick six is a 14-point swing. If we hold them to 3, it's still a 4-point swing. So if you don't want to run man, running man is a big gamble here in the end zone because everybody is going to be running drags, zigs, slants. There's so much confusion down here. I personally don't like to run man very often down here. I like to mix in man with zone. So for us, what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to go ahead and put our outside linebackers into zones, okay? The first thing we're going to do is press, so that's triangle, left stick down. We're going to do the same thing with our line. We're going to pinch them and crash them down. Make sure we have the proper play art. We have to do it again. And then what I like to do is I like to contain, which is R1, R1, okay? Whoops, I'm sorry. I screwed that up. So we'll just go ahead and let this play out. And we actually got good pressure there. So anyway, we're going to press, pinch, crash, make sure we have the right setup. And now we're going to go ahead and put our defensive backs into zones. Actually, in this case, linebackers. I like to spread the linebackers out. If you spread the linebackers out, you have more room to shoot the gaps in here, okay? So that's down on the right pad, on the D-pad, pardon me, right on the D-pad, and then up on the left stick. That spreads the linebackers out just a tad, okay? And now we're going to take our left of screen outside linebacker. We're going to hit the D-pad right twice. We're going to press Zach Thomas's icon, which is square, and we're going to put him into a you can do a hard flat or you can do a curl flat, okay? Or a seam. I'm going to go ahead and do the hard flat here, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other linebacker. Down on the D-pad twice, Harold Carmichael's icon, which is X, and put him into a hard flat, which is left on the left stick. Now we have him in a hard flat. And then what I'm going to do is in this area over here, okay, if it's a run, normally we can shoot the gap over here, but we're going to use a different user here this time. So we're going to take this middle linebacker, Rob Gronkowski, we're going to press X, or you can just do right on the D-pad twice, press triangle, and we're going to put him in a middle read, okay? So now we have 3 zones on the field, and we have 3 guys manned up. We're going to user Tatum. We're going to come down here. Now, the next tip, this is for any formation that you choose to use, is that when you make a decision with your user, don't hedge. Make that decision and go for it, okay? So if a receiver comes over here, we take them, okay? We also need to be aware that there could be a slant right here. So if that happens, we're going to shoot here, and we can get a pick six and completely change this game, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, notice that Tatum is lined up. Excuse me, his defensive coverage is against the fullback. If this is a run, we're not going to move our user as soon as the play snaps. If it's a run, our user will start to move toward that run, and then we know it's a run. If he doesn't, then we know we can back off into coverage, okay? So let's let this play out. And that's it. Did you see what we did there with the running back? Or excuse me, with our defensive back, Tatum? We just kind of hovered here. We knew it wasn't going to be a run because we didn't get sucked in, okay, to the animation, or not animation, but to following that fullback. So we knew we just had to stay out here in coverage. We saw if it was going to be a run instead of a play action, that we could shoot in here and help out. But our defense did it for us. This is a good play. So I'm going to set this play up again. We're going to press. We're going to pinch our line and crash down. We're going to spread our linebackers, and we're going to put our outside linebackers into hard flats. Okay? And then we're going to put our middle linebacker into a middle read. We're going to grab Tatum, bring him down to the line, and then we're going to contain. When we contain, the reason why we're containing here is if anytime you're on the goal line, you almost have this urge to start running, to start moving to the left or right. If they start to move out of that pocket, you're going to get an instant shed, and you're going to get serious pressure, most likely a sack, okay? But you want to keep that quarterback kind of contained, okay? It's still going to be stout run defense. Let's try it and see how it works out. Pretty tough defense, right? I'm going to give you a couple of variations on this defense, okay? You can press, like we always do, pinch your line, crash it down. Make sure you do not contain until after you get your adjustments set up, because those linebackers are considered pass rushers right now, okay? Another setup you can do is to take your outside cornerbacks and put them into hard flats, okay? So that's triangle, triangle. In this case, Randy Moss, who's circle, we're going to put him into a hard flat, which is left on the left stick. And then we're going to go triangle, triangle. We're going to take Bo Jackson, which is square, and we're going to put him into a hard flat, okay? Now we're going to spread our linebackers, and we're going to put Carmichael and Thomas into vertical hooks, and we're going to put our middle linebacker, Gronkowski, into a mid-read. Now we have two guys manned up, okay? This is a sort of all-or-nothing defense here, okay, because those receivers can get behind those hard flats. So, but this is a good setup. This is very confusing, especially outside of practice mode, okay? So let's see what happens here. Did you see that our user started to move as soon as the play started? So we knew it was a run, so we were able to go and blow it up, okay? So we're going to do this one more time. Press, pinch, crash, spread our linebackers, put our linebackers into vertical hooks, and put our defensive backs into hard flats, our cornerbacks. And now all we have to do is put Gronkowski in a mid-read, and we just sit here, and we decide what we're going to do at the snap. This is a pass. Very tough. And that's the only problem with that defense. Again, high risk, high reward, right? Those hard flats just don't quite get to the back of the end zone. So if you're worried about that, I will give you a setup here that is personally my favorite setup, okay? So we're going to press, we're going to pinch our line, crash them down, spread our linebackers, okay? We're going to take our right of screen outside linebacker, Carmichael, and we're going to put him into a seam flat, okay? And then we're going to take our left responsibility as a user is everything on this side of the field. So it's okay that that hard flat isn't going to play deep because we know that that's our responsibility, okay? Now, if you want to, because it's man, you can shade, you know, because we have many of the guys basically matched up in man, so we can shade underneath and shade inside. I think in this case, that's going to help. And then all we need to do is put Gronkowski on a middle read. And this is our play art. If you want to and you have time, you can bring Peppers down in the box too. And then all we need to do now is R1, R1 to contain. To me, this is the best goal line setup. The best. Because over here, we have our receiver manned up, okay? And we have a zone that's going to take this whole part of the end zone. And then over here, we have a hard flat, which might go for a pick six, okay? If he does do a slant, we can come in here and get a pick six. Or if anybody crosses from the right side of the end zone over here, we can follow them and get a pick. I believe this to be the best setup for goal line defense in Madden. So let's let it play out. Is this a run? Nope, it's a pass. Instant pressure. So again, 50-50, it's pretty clear from the tips here in this video that it's now more than 50-50. I think we've swayed the odds into our favor. We have certainly opportunities now to get pick sixes or even to hold them to field goals, okay? One more time. We're going to do the instant replay here. We're going to see how this plays out. Do you see how every single receiver is covered right now? There's nothing open on this play, and anything that was coming open, we were able to defend it. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Again, use any formation that you want to use. Again, I personally believe the 4-3-6-1 is the formation to use, the best formation to use at the goal line. But you can apply this concept to anything, okay? Any formation you want. I hope this tip has been helpful for you, and I hope everybody has a safe, healthy, and happy New Year.